Hey everybody, this is Ari. I'm live on YouTube here. I'm all fired up. We just had a super fun class with my membership. So we have a new pattern system group starting, and I wanted to tell you about this. I've gotten so many emails about it. I've also gotten a bunch of emails because I've been going on YouTube, checking our live setup. So yes, it's working. Sorry for the false starts, and thank you for being here and checking it all out. If we have folks watching live, I'd like to know what you are working on the base. And if you would kindly put a comment into the comment section, then that would be fabulous, just so I know that this is working. All right, everybody. So why am I here? I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes letting you know about our pattern system practice group that is coming up shortly here. We start on May 15th. My book, The Pattern System for the Bass Player, goes through the entire fretboard. It talks mostly about practicing the musical mind. Those patterns that we learn, they're flashy, they're interesting, there are a lot of things, but the most important thing that we are doing is we're practicing the musical mind. And all these patterns that we're learning are almost just like an excuse, you know? So I've gotten a lot of questions about what this upcoming pattern system practice group is. It's a 10-week group. What that means is we meet 10 times total, not 10 times in a row, but we meet 2 weeks in May, 3 weeks in June, 3 weeks in July, and so forth. We allow quite a bit of breaks in between so people can absorb the material, go on vacation, do what they got to do, and still follow along. So it's a 10-week class, but it takes us into August. And what we do is we are calling this a level 1/2. In order to join this level, you have to have read chapters 2 and 3. 1, not super important. If you haven't read 1 yet, it won't hold you back, but you need to have read 2 and 3. You need to know the 5 shapes, and you need to know what area 1 means in my system. That's not asking a lot, but these would be things that I cannot explain if you haven't done that before. If you've done any of my pattern system practice groups before, then you're welcome to join. And any of the levels before. Level whichever, doesn't matter, but it's a review group. It's a nice and easy going group, so we're not stepping on it, and we're learning, and we're going with the pace of the group. So but what is the pattern system? What does it do? I'm just coming out of this class where we were doing a little bit of Blues Brothers. So we had some fun with Shake Your Tail Feather, and there's a lick in this, or a groove in this, that is, and like phrase super short, right? So in the way of the pattern system, in the tune, it's played like this, right? So I'm going like this, 1, 3, 5, 6, right? And then make my way back down. And if I, for example, lay this tune through the pattern system, we would be doing things like, okay, I want to play this in pattern 3. Right? That's pattern 3. There are 5 patterns total. And I can move up to pattern 5. For example, or then I keep going up, right? So on some of them I have to shift the octave because the pattern doesn't allow me to find all the notes, but that's kind of the power of it. Because has this ever happened to you? And put it in the chat if it has. Has this ever happened to you that you had a certain fingering on your mind, and maybe somebody changed the key last minute and you were running out of strings, for example, and then you were lost? With this system, this doesn't happen to you because you know immediately where to take it into the other octave, right? How to flip it around, how to make it work anywhere on the bass. And in the system, we go through 5 areas on the bass, but then also we do diagonal, which is probably the way to play that tune, or one of the many ways to play that tune. Also because it's fairly fast and you don't want to, bust your bust your chops too much, even though if you're used to it, it's no big deal at all. But if you are wanting to keep little box shapes in your hand, maybe do a little pistol grip scenario, then this would be a very good way of fingering it. Any questions about any of that? Any questions about any of that? So it's a 10-week practice group, and we're doing the patterns, the system. We're doing drills such as scalar drills. For example, in all sorts of intervals, thirds, fourths. There's always 4 ways how we do those drills: ascending and up, and reverse, right? Or descending and up, and then reverse that. And then we combine the two. Which sounds very pretty. And there are 2 ways of combining them. So we do all sorts of ways to shed these patterns and to get musical material on our creative shelf. One of the biggest goals that we have with the system is to train our musical mind. We do all sorts of drills where we learn about thinking ahead, so that I don't just always chase the notes, but I am ready to go before the notes actually come. I know what it's going to sound like. I know how every single note in a certain area, in a certain constellation on the fretboard, refers to the root in terms of what it sounds like, right? And then, of course, we are practicing the patterns, so we can then also break outside of the patterns and add chromatic runs and all sorts of patterns beyond that. So we're looking for shapes within shapes. So obviously we're doing just the regular major scale in the beginning, but then of course you got all the modes in that same shape. You got triads, you got 4-note chords, The whole world of diatonic essentially gets reduced down to three micro shapes or 5 macro shapes, if you will. So it's a beautiful thing. And it is... Hey, Chris, nice to see you. Chris emailed me earlier. So we are getting ready for that. It's starting on May 15th. Fred, thankfully, has been posting the link. And if you'd like to sign up, we still have a few slots available. And you want to grab those slots now, because this might be the last time that I personally am teaching this round. Don't worry, we will still have resources for you. But with me teaching the group, this might be going away. So if you'd like to be in the group with me personally, then this would be your chance to do another level 1/2. Again, if you're joining and haven't done any of the pattern system levels with me yet, I do recommend that you read chapter 2 and 3. And maybe chapter 1, just to fly over it, what these pattern things are and what I mean with all that, and why the writing out is so important, and what's the deal with 5-string basses. And there's a lot of questions answered that people often have, right? So you're welcome to get all the information from that. And then hopefully I will see you in class. All right. Thank you, Fred, for posting the link. And everybody have a wonderful rest of your day.